Hello, it's your boy, the Rat Zapper. JK, I don't zap rats. I think they're kind of cute, but Logan Paul doesn't think they're cute, so maybe that's why he likes electrifying them. Okay, I think I stretched this joke long enough. So, our boy released a new response. Not so much a new response, but more like a podcast. I don't know what are his goals for this podcast. Well, I guess there is to manipulate his fans, and I did not expect this, but so far, it doesn't seem to work. And it might be backfiring. So I made this video just to help you guys keep it short as to what happened, the highlights, and his attempts in trying to socially engineer the situation into tricking his fans, him attempting to trick his fans to thinking that he's innocent and he has nothing to do with this and Coffeezilla is the bad guy.
Here are some receipts. Again, just for context. His name's Steven. The first time he reached out to me was on Christmas Eve after he released his series. He sent a misleading email as highlighted in my statement. He invited me on his show to come talk about CryptoZoo. I chose not to do that because it is now clear to me that he's milking this. Again, why would he not? This is big for him. He caught a lot of traction. He gained like 500,000 subscribers. And I'm sure he got a decent amount of money pumping his Patreon. But I am not interested in feeding into that anymore. So we'll be answering the questions that hopefully he was going to ask me and that you're going to ask me today on this podcast. I invited him on Impulsive multiple times and he has not responded. My email to him on December 27th was, hey, Steven, saw your tweet. Since this entire narrative has unfolded on your platform, I can't imagine you'd mind having this discussion with me on mine. Of course, we wouldn't monetize. This episode of Impulsive is scheduled for January 2nd in LA. We can consider a neutral location if you respond to this email by the weekend. Best logs. He did not respond to me. So
he said that he talked about how Coffeezilla reached out to him after the first video release. He got that wrong. He tried reaching out, called his manager twice, I believe, and then he also tried to message him on Instagram. Not the most efficient way, but there's really no way to reach him directly besides through his manager and through Instagram, where you can DM him directly. Pretty sure a guy like Logan Paul checks his DMs, but at the same time, he is so famous, like anyone will try to message him. And, it's pretty natural to just ignore that. Probably not the best method. Probably want to make an announcement to say, hey, I want to reach out. But I guess, that didn't work out. He honestly, on Logan Paul's side, he might have just brushed it off, just most normally people do. And it's such an ironic irony. It's so ironic. Logan Paul does not want to go onto his podcast because he doesn't want to feed into Coffeezilla's schemes, but has no problem inviting Coffeezilla onto his own Impulsive podcast. But then Coffeezilla didn't offer Logan Paul to talk on his own podcast. He offered a neutral platform like Zoom or maybe Discord, most likely Zoom or Skype, to talk about it, and then they could both stream it and it will be fair, even, square. But Logan too scared to even go on a neutral platform, so he just much rather have Coffeezilla come on to his podcast where he can do all the editing, twist the situation around with the crap. And he said there'll be a one-on-one, but is it really a one-on-one? He's gonna have his crew like behind the camera just ready to attack Coffeezilla, not like physically assault him, but more like just interrupt Coffeezilla when he needs to speak. And when he was making a good point, like someone from the crew will probably make a fart and just distract Coffeezilla. It's pretty typical of interviewers to give the person that they're interviewing a hard time to make them look like a bad guy, which is what Logan Paul is trying to do.
Or slander. So if someone scams a person or an organization, they deceive them in order to get something valuable for them, especially money. That is the definition of scam. So my first question, and this question was answered in his series. It was a 5-second blip that was a part of a probably hour-long of documentary, filmmaking, was how much money did you make off the sale of the coin? Or off CryptoZoo as a project? How much money did you make?
Yeah, this seems to be the biggest misconception, and it is disappointing that part was glossed over so quickly. Made no money. of CryptoZoo. Never sold the token. Jeff never sold the token. Only lost money trying to make things right, along with everyone else in the project. But no money was made. No tokens were sold. And CoffeeZilla even said that in his series. So to answer your question, yeah, no money was made by Jeff or I.
And just back to the flip side really quick. To me, once I heard that seemed just like a kill shot to this entire thing.
Now I'll play the other side.
Sure. And I know what you're going to say. There's a ton more. It's very complex. There's a lot of
No. I empathize. I totally see why people are frustrated. I'm fucking frustrated. I've been frustrated for over a year. So I'll let you keep going. And again, while we made no money on the project, which I think kills the scam narrative immediately, there is more explaining to do.
What was your intent with CryptoZoo as a project?
I really thought it was going to be the next big thing. It was my first foray into creating a project on the blockchain. My intent was to...
So, I don't know what this guy's name is. Let's just call him Sidekick. He was defining scam wrong. That's not how... What he defined was... I don't even know what it is, but then what Logan Paul did is in fact a scam. And the way he described it, he's just said that, oh, Logan Paul didn't take any money, and hence it's not a scam. That's not how this works. You see, if you're one person, and you hire 3 guys to rob a bank with you, and then after robbing the bank, you guys left, 4 guys in the car, drove off, and then they drove to a safe house. 3 of those guys you hired decided to turn their guns on you and say, hey, we're taking the money and the car. Get out of the car. Gets out, and they drive off with the money. That doesn't make the person innocent. That doesn't make the person a victim. That just means you got backstabbed on your own scam. That's his logic. His logic is that if I get betrayed by the people in my team, then it's not a scam. Ta-da! Look at that. Look, that is genius. But then I don't know if he was being legit or not, because this kind of logic feels kind of contorted. I don't think I think he's actually legit about thinking that he got screwed over. Well, I mean, he did got screwed over, but I think he's legit about thinking he is not a scammer because he got double crossed, which is, I don't know, which is probably why most people just don't like him anymore.
Good question.
Very good question.
The answer is fucking heartbreaking, George. I'll get emotional even speaking about it right now, but this is what broke me. People relied on me to create a project, and when shit wasn't working out and I found out the extent of just how bad things were behind the scenes, I had to rely on my team. I crumbled internally, and the advice was, while actual legal process was going on because of criminal investigation taking place that CoffeeZilla highlighted in his series, I had to stay silent. And for a fucking year, I'm hounding Jeff. How do we make this right? What's the status of the game?
But they
Where
don't
are
see
we
that.
at?
They don't see that.
He's wolfing, he's barking, he's yapping, and most of all, he's hounding. Hounding because he can't speak on a secret investigation that he keeps mentioning. It's a secret investigation. If it's a secret investigation, why you keep mentioning it? I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to mention a secret investigation, but I don't know. I'm pretty sure you could talk about an investigation, and I'm pretty sure those cops didn't tell him anything about the investigation. Like what the details as to like what they already found, like the details, like all their plans to catch the criminals. I'm pretty sure Logan Paul doesn't know anything, like what the police or FBI, whatever the hell department is investigating. Pretty sure they didn't tell him anything. They just asked him questions and said, okay, all right, thanks. And I'm pretty sure he could speak whatever he wants to say, or at least his side of the story. But sounds like to me, he's just made it up.
When all this broke, when we were in Qatar, I'll kind of remember this. We were in the spa one day, and I saw the pain in your, and this, like I said, this is not going to turn into a fucking victim thing. I just want to point this out. I saw this pain in your face, bro, and this like emptiness in your fucking eyes when all this was breaking. And I remember thinking to myself, having been through a couple things, very minor in comparison to the ones you've gone through and are going through now, where I was railroaded by the internet on something that just simply wasn't true. I've been through a chunk of shit in my life, but I honestly don't know if I recall feeling like that. The feeling of not being able to say, yo, this is not what happened. You guys have it wrong. Even though you and everyone around you knows that you're being fucked and being railroaded by an incomplete or unsubstantiated story is one of the most painful fucking things in the entire world. It's terrible.
Where Coffee fucked up is by targeting me as some malicious, evil supervillain. If he had told this story objectively and told the story without vilifying me, regardless, we're still making this right. But in my opinion, that's where it got twisted and hurt the most. Dude, I'm sitting in the seat solely because of my fans. I love them. I'll take any picture you want, unless I'm at dinner. That's my one rule. I'll take any picture you want.
Now you better get your ass up. You better wipe your face and get up.
So sad. When they were in the spa, he saw pain in his eyes. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was getting a massage from a hot prostitute that works in the spa, and he was probably about to get one rubbed out of him because she was going too hard on the handsy. But you know what? You're rich, man. And yeah, the pain is probably going to be all gone after the massage. You know, those happy endings are quite joyful. And who's this sidekick? I don't know this guy. I've seen him so many times, but his name never pops up. And also Logan Paul. He makes it seem like it's okay for you to lose hundreds of thousands of dollars. Maybe it's like chum change to Logan, but then he make it sound like it's nothing to people. Like, hey, sorry about that. Here, I'll make it up to you. I'll take a picture with you, and it'll make you feel like you're $100,000 richer. What kind of logic is that? Like, oh yeah, I got a picture with Logan Paul, honey. Oh man, that is so awesome. I'm glad I lost hundreds of thousands of dollars. I can finally take a picture with my boy. My life is complete. No, it isn't. It's such a piss poor thing to bring up. Like, well, no one cares taking a picture of you. I mean, maybe like those teenagers in the UK would love a picture of you, but if they understand the value of the dollar, I don't think they will want a picture of Logan Paul. They probably want his head. And of course, like his other sidekick, the less popular one, I think his name is George, said he has some sob story about seeing Logan like feel depressed at the airport. Like, okay, yeah, no one cares. No one knows who you are, really.
The more he says, and the more he continues to spread this misinformation that this was any sort of con or scam, the more I have for the lawsuit that I am filing. The defamation lawsuit. That is fucking happening because this is wrong. This is fucking wrong. And there's a reason. There's a reason he won't come on this show. And he knows it's because he can't lie to me with his chest out while sitting in front of me.
And saying that you are a scammer.
Fuck,
you are a fraud.
dog.
What about the people that say, like, why don't you just do it live on his platform?
I am not feeding into this anymore on his shit because he did not change the course of my direction at all. He happened to make this series. It's not changing what we have been doing and are doing behind the scenes.
Yeah.
What he did do is got me to speak about it. And I'm actually grateful for that.
I was about to say, this is kind of like a good light because
I'm actually grateful for that. I do thank CoffeeZilla for shining a light on what even he highlighted and made in his year's worth of research and a 3-part series, is that this situation is so fucked, so beyond fucked. You could make an entire documentary out of it. In fact, he did. But now I'm in a place where I actually do have to thank him for shining light on this. He just messed up by pointing the finger 100% at me in saying that there was any sort of fraud or scam taking place intentionally. Not even taking place intentionally, just taking place on my behalf.
Why did you block him on Twitter?
It's like a little gnat. It's like a little fucking annoying gnat, and it bothers me. He won. He got to me, bro. He's the most formidable opponent I've had. I'm not kidding. The guy's good. He's
very smart.
He's very smart. He manipulates and twists the truth just the way he wants to get his people to believe a certain thing. He's good.
I think
it's marketing in a way, hiding behind the veil of, I don't make money off this platform. I'm doing God's work. I'm doing justice. By the way, go sign up to my Patreon. Go join my Patreon. We're gonna see the behind the scenes of my $10 million studio. $10 million studio. You got $10 million? Where did that money come from? I don't think so, pal.
I think he might be saying that sarcastically.
He rented it.
So you're saying So you're saying he embellished or like rounded up?
No,
I
I think he just says it sarcastically. It's like a joke.
It's in his descriptions on his Patreon, which I joined. He kicked me off though.
He refunded your. He refunded his money.
It's actually funny. He kicked me off, and he had a couple zingers on Twitter. He kicked me off and was like, "Who knows where that money came from?"
Oh, I'm gonna be honest. You got why. You've been getting.
I mean, just watch Logan. He chooses his words so wisely. Like, I gotta take it slow. Don't want to say something that will make me look suspicious. And you know what? I just don't like it. Everyone on his team is just carefully choosing their words before talking because I think they know that they're conducting a lie on the podcast and they just don't know how to execute it well. They didn't have a plan. They're thinking about just winging it on the spot, which is not a good idea because just there's a lot of missteps that's being caught, but I don't really want to point it out. It's gonna take a long time, but it's so ironic how they think that this is actually gonna work. And yes, he's gonna make the lawsuit happen. I can't wait. I want to see how it goes. I just hope when the sue is over, CoffeeZilla will keep countersuing for the fees that CoffeeZilla have to cough up because yeah, getting sued is not cheap. People that defend themselves have to pay more than the person that is suing. It's kind of weird, but that is how lawyers make money. And in the courtroom, it's more like whoever has more money will win, generally speaking. And of course, he has to bring up the same thing again about CoffeeZilla being too scared to come onto his podcast, but refuse to go onto his, like, oh wow, you can't lie in front of my face. I'm pretty sure CoffeeZilla has no problem calling Logan a liar in front of his face. Just, only when Logan is not surrounded by his crew and bodyguard and entourage, which makes sense. Like, no one wants to get beaten up over, telling the truth. And it's so ironic. He talks about how, oh yeah, CoffeeZilla got me to talk about him. He got me to mention him. Like, who do you think you are? Okay, yeah, you are like one of the top YouTubers, but he make it seem like him talking about someone is a worthy human. Like, oh, you maybe said a word that has the first letter of your name. You are worthy. To get me to mention a word that uses a letter from any part of your name, that's an amazing feat. That is just nuts. You have my respect. Like, what makes him think he's a Jesus of the modern day? I don't know. I think that's why that's why he thinks he is right. Like, he's not a criminal because he is delusional. It's very possible. It's so ironic. I was pretty indifferent about Logan Paul in the beginning, but the more I see him trying, like, pathetically, socially engineering the situation into tricking his audience to thinking that he's some kind of good guy, the more I hate him. I used to be indifferent about him, but the more I watch this, the more I hate him. And of course, he has to dodge a question his sidekick asked him about, like, why you blocked him on Twitter. I'm pretty sure he just doesn't have an answer for it. That's why he just kept rambling on and just ignored it. And then, of course, he has to make allegations about CoffeeZilla having $10 million. It was a joke, but it was a pretty lame joke for an adult. And then he tried to trick his sidekick into saying that CoffeeZilla embellished money from his fans or, like, from his own company. Like, I don't know. It's many poor attempts, and the more he tries now, the more sad it is.
Dear Logan, I'm sorry to bother you. I'm sure you'd just like to have a normal and relaxing flight. I'd just like to say your videos helped me through a rough patch in my life, and I will always be grateful. You made me laugh when I needed it, and although I don't know you personally at all, it was always clear to me that you have a kind heart and you are a good person. I hope this isn't too presumptuous of me to say. While I have you here, I'd also like to wish you a Merry Christmas and Happy Holiday Season, and in general, wish you a happy and fulfilling life. You are a very beautiful person, and I really hope you know that. Love, Lane Schlegel. P.S. I also recommend you check out the book, The Pocket Pima Cauldron, it looks like. It helps me more than words can.
Of course, a Logan Paul video is not over until he ends it on a sob story. And here it is. Here it is, a video of him generating a tear after reading the email.
You being there for him and him being there for you.
Yeah, at one point I was a light for him. And then when I needed it, he was a light for me. Get these fucking
fucking cameras on it.
Yeah, what are you guys doing? Think we're shooting a podcast?
Who is this kid? He's becoming a human.
Just crazy how the universe works, man. And I told him that don't fucking delete that.
I just needed proof. I needed to show people that you're capable of.
and
crime.
I just couldn't be more grateful. I couldn't be more grateful. It's just crazy. I saw it unfold in real time, man. No one's ever written me a note that nice.
my favorite part.
Damn, Logan Paul. I feel so sorry for you. Fucking CoffeeZilla and his dirty little schemes trying to get clout. Absolutely piece of shit he is. I hope he burns in hell. You deserve the best, Logan. But first off, maybe you should try hiding the box of tissue in the beginning of the video before you placed it there. Not placed it. I'm pretty sure they planned the tear situation. Although it's pretty good. There's a lot of editing for to generate a tear, but I'm glad you could hold it in and then release whatever juices they squeeze into your eyes. Overall, I'm getting sick about talking about Logan Paul. I hope there's a video of him, or I hope to see him on the news of the FBI arresting him and his ex-teammates that worked on Crypto Zoo, because honestly, I never really liked the guy to begin with. I guess I wasn't indifferent. I just didn't really like him, and you know what? I'll be very happy if he's not on YouTube anymore. Like, it's one of my favorite platforms. I don't want to just, even get a glimpse of his name. I think that's pretty fair. I think most people will want that. Overall, see ya.